Oh.
All right, all right. You guys ought to be lucky I even got that into a program. Now, how many of you guys had them? How many of you have grown them in the past but don't have them now?
That's going to be it.
Okay, all right.
Type in the number and just hit enter and see if it will take it. No, won't take it? No. See. Oh, well. Just hit enter. Let's try that. There it is.
Well, try the next one, see how it looks in there. Notwithstanding, okay, while he's playing with that, let's talk about this. This is a doggone nice flower, even by today's standards, okay? This flower would probably get an award if the American Orchid Society judges knew what they were looking at, okay? And unfortunately, oftentimes, we don't, okay? Let me tell you a little story that I tell all of our students. I say in the handbook, what's it say about taking students into the judging program? First thing it tells you is bring people in that know orchids. When that was written back in 1945, there were plenty of those people around that knew orchids. There aren't any of them left. They're all either dead or already in the program. So what we take in today are relatively novice orchid growers and try to teach them how to judge orchids. I tell my students two things, okay? Learn the species and read, read, read. And if you don't read about orchids, you probably won't learn anything about orchids. Another thing that I tell them is that the Orchid Review, AOS Bulletin, Orchid Digest, some of the Australian magazines that have gone on for a long time, they are the absolute body of knowledge about orchids. We don't use them. Most people don't even know about them and don't have them. I admit they're hard to get, but the knowledge in them is so tremendous. You know, there's a book produced in 1909 that tells you what every hybrid up to that point in time looked like. Great information for a judge, wouldn't you think? How many people know what it is? It's called the Orchid Stud Book. Okay? The amount of knowledge out there is just incredible. I'm going through reading all the orchid reviews now. They started in 1893. They started in 1893, okay? I'm now up to volume 46. They're just unbelievable amounts of information in there. If you want to know orchids, read, 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 because you can learn about orchids. Look at the pictures. There's some great pictures out there. If you have Alex's program, he's got a lot of the old color plates in his program. Use those. Those are fantastic, okay? Okay, we got where we're going to go here. Didn't work. Oh, did it? Did it? Oh. No.
No, we're going to have to adjust it with every single picture, is what we're going to have to do. So
Well, they're okay. Just no, I can push the button, but it didn't work.
let's see. There you go. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh, goodness.
Hold on, let's see if we can.
There's a zoom guard, yeah, there you go. There you go. You're just gonna have to adjust everything.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're way ahead of where we should be.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go back then. Let's see, right down here. Let's see, hold on. All right, go ahead, hit previous. All right, hold on here. Let's see what we can do. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
now you want to go to the next one? Is that where you want to be?
Yeah.
Okay, you just let me know. I'll get it. Just let me know when you want me to flip them and make it.
Well, we're missing some slides off of it. Can you pull up all the?
While they're doing that, let me just make a comment. I think it was Ken's region. I think they
Okay,
gave
see,
it
that's the
credit
first one. Then this one was the next
to all
one.
judging centers. They gave
There
it
you go.
credit for
Yeah.
doing it in the county.
Good.
What kind of credit? It's credit hours.
Or credit out.
Require throughout the year, minimum of 12 credit hours. For each hour we are here, we can count one credit hour.
Yeah, and I think all judging centers that are represented here, you ought to take this back to your group. Because I think, to me, I think it's well worth, getting the credit out and coming here. Because, you don't hear speakers like this. You're not gonna find it. Just every day. Yeah, I know y'all are. I mean, for other judging centers. And I'm just happy to see it. I saw it on the AUSC website.
That's good.
Oh, good.
Don't like that.
We've got at least two centers here in Florida giving us credit.
Y'all got a pointer?
Right here. See that? Turn it on. There you go. All right.
Good.
It's that little red, the little red one.
Got it. Okay, we all know that mendelii comes from Colombia. It grows right here. This is the eastern Cordillera. This is the central Cordillera Mountains, and this is the western. Warscewiczii comes from right up here, and Cattleya dowiana aureoform comes from up here too. All along these mountains is where the cattleyas grow. They don't grow anywhere else, essentially. Now, the other cattleyas, the bifoliates and things grow in different places, but all of the cattleyas grow along these mountains. I don't know. Can you hear me in the back? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We all know that.
Hold on, here comes your replacement.
Go ahead and put that in your pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, you want. Go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me now? My boss used to tell me I talk too loud, so don't know. Anyway, this is where mendelii grows. Warscewiczii grows in here, and so does Cattleya aurea. And up in that, yes, dowiana. You also will find Cattleya hardianas growing up there because that's the natural hybrid between the two. But all the rest of them grow along these mountains in Colombia. All right. Okay. if you look, mendelii is down here. It was described in 1872, okay? Labiata, of course, was 1821. And you see it progressively going down. Mendelii kind of was late in coming to the dance, so to speak. Willisii and Percivalliana and all those came along later. Here's just some information on progeny, and we'll look at that a little later on also. Some of these dates are a little flaky because other authorities, such as Withner, quotes other dates in his series on Cattleyas. So these are the ones that Q officially recognizes, and that's the ones that I've used. Okay.
Ready?
Yep. In 1872, the first description of mendelii was officially issued, and it was I want to show you this right here. The flower is very large in petals and sepals of the most delicate lavender rose, and the lip deep brownish crimson and yellow. And it tells you in here that this is the best Cattleya they had seen to date. I want to do the next one. This is the color picture of the plate that was issued at the time. And if you look at it, it's a pretty doggone nice flower, even by our standards today. And that's when we say this one was the best. It certainly was close to our quote-unquote standards. Okay. This was the description. Backhouse did it in the Floral magazine also, which is a little different. Go ahead to the next slide. If you recall, there's a fellow named John Day in England. He was a fabulous orchid grower very, very early on, and he had a thing called his scrapbooks. And what there were is color paintings that he did of his flowers. This is his picture of an albiform of mendelii. Again, a pretty nice flower. This is his semi-albiform of mendelii. And you notice it's got those little teeny flares at the tips of the petals. Even under today's standards, this is a nice flower. This is what was called Grandiflora, and this is from the Orchid album, and third volume, if I recall correctly. But look at this flower. This is a fantastic flower. And while the Orchid album's colors are not what we consider up to the par of the Reichenbachias or the bigger orchid books, color plate books, they were good drawings, and they were representative of what you actually saw or what the flower looked like. The colors are a little bit off. You want to do the next one? This is another one, okay? Another very fine flower. I mean, this is what was coming out of the jungle. These things were quality flowers when we saw them. Next. Another one, certainly not a bad flower. This one also is from the Orchid album. As you can see, the Orchid album 9 volumes if I recall correctly, thought very highly of this. You've seen 3 of them that were published in the Orchid album. Yeah. Okay. This is another color plate. Let's see. Of mendelii. And these were all out of the jungle, remember, all right? You want to do the next one? This one's not quite as good, all right? But it's pure white. Who wouldn't love to have that? Yeah. This is Orchid, yeah, yeah.
So the ones, these last couple or 3 you've shown are all Lindenia.
Yeah, this one's a Lindenia. Was the last one Lindenia too? Yeah. Okay, the last 2 were
You're
Lindenia.
remarking that they were different, and the earlier ones out of Orchid album were published about, that was around 1880, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But
Lindenia is about 1893.
yeah, but there's still no hybrids yet
No.
with these things. These are all out of jungle collected plants. Yeah. Kind of a doggy flower, but it's still, who wouldn't want it, you know? This is a pure white one. Gone. Okay, this is from Grandiflora, and as you can see, it's a little doggy, but it does show you what even the Germans were putting out at the time.
Is part of it translucent or
No, it's just the picture.
just the picture?
Yeah, yeah. But look at the color in that lip. And we're going to talk about that quite a bit later on, because if you remember what you saw, the lips in many of these are very dark, and they're a different lavender than any other Cattleya. Okay, these are some of the RHS awarded Mendelii, and you can see that the lip has a deep red lavender color. You're going to see that in their progeny, because we're going to go all the way through to some of the hybrids made with this. You still can hear me? Oh, okay. Next one. This is another award from the RHS. Now, they only gave this an AM. Pretty good flower to be an AM for a jungle collected. Again, look at the lip. And again. This is also an AM from McBean's. You can see the color on this lip. The petals can be white or light lavender, but that lip is stunning and carries through. Go ahead. This is the one that I put on the cover. This is Mrs. Smee. You notice I only got an AM. RHS, for some reason, didn't like it.
They weren't educated at that time.
Probably not. But again, there's your lip, that distinct red-purple. No matter what the sepals and petals are, you're probably going to get this red-purple on the lip. Okay. Okay, another awarded one. This is a AM again, and you see the same thing. But if you look at each one of these and remember what you saw, each one of these is a good flower. They are awarded, but if you look at the standard things that we see, these are pretty common for Mendelii. Okay. Again, gorgeous lip, very nice sepals and petals. I'd sure take it.
Bring it back next year.
Yeah. That's probably what the judges would tell me, right? I get
That more than once.
I get a big kick out of that, but, you know.
Y'all should put a sign up, bring it back next year.
Well, actually, in our center, we try very hard not to do that, only when we really mean it, because there are some good things that come in that we can't award, and we will tell the exhibitor, this is good, please bring it back next year. Right back to that color and that little splashes on the petals. Seems that mendelii had a lot of that, and you'll see more of it. I might just comment, those of you that were here last year, we talked about Nellie Roberts. No relation. Okay. But when she did a painting, the painting was accurate. Many of the orchid growers, especially the big commercial ones, tried to bribe her to paint the flowers better, take out irregularities or things like that. She would not do it. Her integrity was just beyond question. Okay. Again, you see all of these awarded things from the RHS. They're all nice flowers. They all have to seem, in the colored forms anyway, seem to have this very red lip, red purple lip. Next. This is another one, another AM. This one's not quite as good petals as the others, but look how wide those sepals are and how these stand up and are in the right place. So, now we get some of the albas. This is Queen Mary. Again, a pretty nice flower for coming out of the jungle. Go ahead. This is Queen Maud, a semi-alba, but again, you still see that reddish purple on the lip. Again. This is, for my money, one of the poorest that were awarded by the RHS. This is a famous clone. It's depicted in the AOS bulletin once and was in black and white, so I used this photograph instead. But it was a pure white. Go ahead. Now that's a pretty good alba. There are some black and white pictures of this that will just knock your socks off. Next. There it is. It's even better than the painting. Go ahead. Okay, this is Princess of Wales, another alba. Semi-alba, I suspect, because it looks like it's got a little purple up in the lip there. I don't see any down on the blade, but it's certainly up in the lip. But a very, very, very fine form. Go.
Previous slide, go back.
Can you go back one?
Where did that slide come from?
I think that's out of either the AOS bulletin or the Orchid Review. What? Orchid Review? Yeah, I couldn't remember which one I got it out of. Usually I write up on the top where it came from, but I didn't on that one. Okay, go. Another semi-alba. But the reason I put all these in there was I wanted to get a broad spectrum of what came out of the jungle. And it's quite obvious that what came out of the jungle was real quality flowers. Now we'll get down to why this wasn't used anymore, any more than it was. Okay, go ahead. Another one? Go ahead. Go ahead. Another semi-alba. Tried to group them together as like color forms. I didn't get them all that way. But again, an absolutely beautiful flower. Go ahead. Another one. Kind of droopy dorsal, but that's all right. But otherwise, it was good. This is another semi-alba. All of these were awarded by the RHS. Again. This is one with a droopy dorsal. Go ahead. Pure white. This is Beatrice Ashworth. Very nice dorsal here. Go ahead. Semi-alba. Let's see, the petals are a little bit off. This one seems to be going off in a funny direction.
So Ken,
Yes.
do you remember the time period, the range of these pieces from Nellie Roberts? What that period was? Was it protracted, or did this suddenly?
Oh no, it was protracted. She was over 50 years with the RHS.
No, I know that. I don't know when these mendelii photos.
Okay. Let's see.
Was it just when they came in, all of a sudden there was excitement?
No, it's spread over time.
Because it's so variable. I mean, the same judges are looking at the plants and awarding.
Well, remember the RHS does appreciation judging.
Yeah.
We do a mathematical computation. Whether it's valid or not is either one of them is immaterial. You know, it's the way they do it, and for them it works fine. I have some problems with it sometimes, but you know, that's just life. But they judge these. I don't remember when the last one got awarded, but it was up into the early 1900s.
Yeah, it's just a point whether they got excited for seeing them the first time and then awarded.
There was a bunch awarded to start with, but they were spread out over time, and you know that's understandable because you bring them in, they're in terrible shape when they come in. The growers would work with them, get them back into shape, and sometimes that would take 5 years, sometimes it would take 10 years to get them. So that was, I think, the reason they just spread out over a long period of time. Next. This is not one. This is one from Ben Singer's collection. When Ben bought this collection, he sent it over to me and I scanned it all in. The AOS has them all now. But this is a beautiful mendelii. Again, sorry, I had this back. This is from the Ben Singer collection. When Ben bought this collection, he sent them all over to me, and I scanned them in with his permission and made CDs and gave to the AOS and the original plates. And these are in the AOS library now. This is another semi-alba. Go ahead. Never awarded. Maybe never even shown. But for my money, the best. I'll take it. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning. And you what?
I say it may have been blooming for the last time. Yeah.
Well, that's possible. That's possible. You'll see some similar to this, but that may be hybrids of this. But there's your lip color, and that lip color has been translated into color on the petals. Next. Okay. This is total progeny, and this is something I wanted to bring out to you all. If you look here, okay, this is first generation progeny, and this is total progeny, and it's listed by total progeny. Here it's first generation listed, okay? And then this is just by the name of the Cattleya species. But if you look carefully, you'll find mendelii is down here, kind of in the middle. Had 161, Gasculiana, Warsawickii, Labiata, Mossii, Triani, and Dowiana all had more hybrids. And if you go to the total numbers, you'll find that mendelii is, again, kind of down, not well populated in the chart. Anybody know why?
Natural flower size.
Oh, they were big flowers.
It's hard to find them anymore.
Yeah, well,
Find them.
the last plant that I had was Carlos Eringe, and it was a big flower. It was beautiful, okay? I think there's a picture in here. Anybody got any ideas? What?
Are they a tough grower?
No, mine,
Do they not breed well?
no.
How about number of flowers?
Well, they were 3 and 4 flowers on an inflorescence.
They weren't photoreceptive?
Don't know if you could control them
Correct.
or not, you know. I don't know. Nobody tried it that I know of.
Just don't see flask or anything like that.
No. But they had them. You know, they had all these plants. All these plants were in these rich guys' greenhouses, okay?
So ask the question again.
Why are there not, if this is the best Cattleya, okay, that came out of the jungle, why is there not more hybrids? Why is it not the most hybridized?
A short stem.
Bloom time. Yeah, that could be a possibility. But you remember, the old guys in England, they weren't selling cut flowers.
Fragrance.
They didn't breed for fragrance.
Taxonomists changed the name and nobody knew what it was.
No, as a matter of fact, this one's never been changed, and those two first those two first efforts at naming this thing were not even legal. Technically, this was never legally named. Okay? Notwithstanding that, I cannot tell you. I have looked and looked and looked. I've read everything I can read, and I can find no reason that this was not right up there at the top. Now, Dowiana, we know why. It was yellow, and that's why everybody bred with it. But it didn't produce yellow unless the other parent was yellow. So, you know, I'm surprised they didn't get discouraged, but they were slow learners, boy, I tell you. Okay, I don't know why. And that, I did ask the question hoping to get some cogent answers. Okay, let's look at some right now, okay? I don't know if you all are familiar with a fellow that used to live, well, still lives in Colombia. That was a big collector. He published a book on orchids. Thomas Toulemont. Thomas Toulemont. He was an excellent orchid grower. Got disgusted with his brothers because he was doing all the work, they were taking all the money. And what they were doing, they were growing anthuriums. He decided to close the business, walked away, sold his orchid collection, and it was a terrible shame. But his book, Colombian Cattleyas, is excellent. You ought to get it and take a look at it. This was one of his. Next. This is also one of his. Now these are jungle collected plants. Another one. Okay, this is another one of his, but there's that red color. Look at the width in those petals. You know, just absolutely fabulous things. Yeah. This is another one of his. If you're interested, you can read the clonal name up here. But you can see this one's got 3 flowers on that inflorescence and another inflorescence over here. Go ahead. This is one of the Suave types, or a Rosia as they call it. But again, very nice sepals and petals.
Ken, where are these photos from?
Out of Thomas Tulemann's book.
Oh, okay.
See, that's where these came from. These were in his collection. Okay. Again, another nice semi-alba here. This is a Cerulean. Not very good. You know, of all the Cattleyas, usually the worst shape in any species is a Cerulean. Don't know why, if you get that that combination, but it seems to work out that way.
More than just Cattleya.
More than just.
More than just Cattleya.
Okay. Did you hear what Bob said? Bob said more than just Cattleyas are that way. Go ahead. Nice white, little droopy petals, but I wouldn't complain about it too much. Again, another one. Go ahead. This one was, this was Stuart Lowe. This is an actual photograph of Stuart Lowe. Sorry. Again. These are some Ceruleas. Go ahead. Another Cerulean. Go ahead. This one is a standard, but you see that red in there? You see the red purple in there? You're going to see a lot of that in their hybrids. Go ahead. An albiform, little twisted on the lower side of the petals. Go ahead. Semi-alba, came out of the jungle. Go ahead. This is Carlos Aranja. This is what I had, the last one that I had. For those of you who don't know, I gave 5,000 Cattleya plants away some years ago. I just got to the point I could not take care of them anymore, and one of these went with it. Go ahead. Isn't that a beautiful lip? Not much of a flower, but not terribly bad. But look at the color of that lip.
Purple.
Red purple.
Red purple.
Red purple, yeah.
You've been referring to them as red.
Well, they're
Red purple.
red purple, yeah.
Okay.
Next. Yeah, it's not the standard purple that we see on Labiata or Mossy or any of those other.
Or in Crayola.
And Crayolas, right. Okay. That's where, you know where your reference is.
I still didn't color.
Next. Let's just run through these quickly. Now, would you go back for that one? This is, for my money, one of the best. Okay. I've seen this. This is a New Horizon clone, and I don't know for sure, but this may have been Andy Easton's clone. I talked, it was? Yeah, I talked to Andy when we were down in Columbia together and asked him if he had any mendelii left, and he told me no, that he had gotten rid of all these Cattleyas. But this is a pretty nice thing. Go ahead. So is this. This is a stunning thing.
Look at the stem of
Yeah, it's just really holding that thing up there. And I suspect it's not tied up or anything like that. It's just like that. Anybody got any of those? Because I want some, all right? I got to get some of them back. This is a AMAOS. Pretty nice flower. The dorsal looks like it folds back, but it gets this very nice red-purple lip. Go ahead. Okay, now we're going to do some hybrids, okay? And I must apologize. My book with all my notes I left on my desk, okay? Some of these we'll be able to figure out. This is a Digdiana crossed onto mendelii. Go ahead to the next one. This is another one. But if you recall, Digdiana doesn't usually give a very good flower. Okay? This is not a bad flower for a Digdiana hybrid. The petals are more or less flat. The lip is huge and it's absolutely beautiful, but that's about what you got going for it. Again, another one. This one, unfortunately, has a petal drooping over here, but the lip is very nice. And you know that Digdiana washes the color out. Now, I suspect strongly that none of those that we just saw were made with a true Alba Digdiana. There are pure Alba Digdianas. If you want to tell yours is whether it's going to breed Alba or not, look at the flower very carefully. Look at the sheath behind the flower, and if you see little bits of purple coloration on the sheath or on the petals, it's not going to be an Alba. You can sometimes see it in the leaves also. They'll color up if you grow them in bright light. Next. This is not one of the better ones, but you again see that lip in there, and that's Aphrodite. This is a Purpurata by Mendelii. Go to the next one. This is the same thing. Now this turned out pretty nice. Yeah, you've got some problems with the petals, but look at that lip. That's just a stunner. Go ahead. Same thing here. You got a stunning lip and droopy petals. But if you recall, Purpurata didn't have very good flowers. And even to this day, you see many Purpuratas with poor flowers. The petals are bent back. So are the dorsal and lateral sepals. The petals are twisted, okay? There are some, and they've been breeding them to get rid of that, and they have actually accomplished quite a bit. The Purpuratas of today are much better. Go ahead. This is not bad. This is an Aphrodite. This is a pretty good flower. Again, that beautiful lip. Go ahead. You see the lip right here? Go ahead. Beautiful lip and not too bad a shape considering. Now, all of these were awarded by the RHS in this last part of the presentation. Some of them are better than others. Go ahead. Not a bad flower. This is Apollo Majestic.
Does that have Rasaba in the lip? Because it's really ruffled.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And the parents are?
That's why I should have brought the book. I left it sitting on the table. I apologize for that. If you're really interested, I'll let you know.
It says, Untitled Chapter, so
There's no brassivola in it, yeah.
well, it sure looks like it, like Plato said.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, one of the trademarks about Rasaba digbyana, but on the lower portion of the labellum, there's generally a green indication under the labellum. And many of the hybrids I've seen with digbyana, looking under the labellum, there's no indication of green at all in there.
Yeah,
Which is,
yeah.
which
It's got
is,
a big cleft, you know.
But it's got that cleft right here in the lip.
but go further up.
Up here, you mean?
Up in there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Generally, the first generation digbyana, I mean, if you go to the DCs and so on, it's always there.
Yeah. This could be,
Lovely flower still.
huh?
It is a lovely flower.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Go ahead. How about that one? You take the other one? Yeah. Okay.
That's a fuller flower, but the other one I thought was pretty.
Next. That you ought to know well. Do you know it had mendelii in it?
Is that excellency?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Look at the next one. That's another color. I don't know which one is more correct. This one, okay. How about this one? You remember I showed you the one with splashes that never been awarded and never been shown? I suspect that's the parent of this, okay? Go on to the next one. If you look carefully, you'll see that this one also has it on the tips. Go to the next one. There's what it really looks like, okay? You got any of those?
Half a dozen.
I'll be up to see you next week.
So Ken, that's what I was saying when we looked at the mossy eyes, that they had this remarkable flaring in there.
Yeah.
To be frank, I didn't realize that it was so prominent in some of those line-bred mossy eyes. That's just amazing.
You know,
So there's always been a question about where does some of this striping come from? Oh, it only comes from intermediate. No, it comes from a lot of other places.
absolutely it does.
So,
We have more of this in lobby type Cattleyas than anybody knows, I think.
Flavier and
Yeah,
caused,
yeah.
much of the spice.
Well, you'll see that in a minute in here too. But to me, that's a stunning flower. Of course, I like Trianate Jungle Feather, and I think it's a stunning thing.
Have you ever seen a tricolor trianate?
No, I haven't seen it that I know of.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, the clown. Yeah. Okay.
okay. I picked up one out of Japan a couple of years ago, and John Odom has a tricolor trianate, and we're going to definitely do a sibbing of it sometime in the future.
Yeah. You know, I really, people that have these things, especially the nice clones, should do something with them. We're just losing them more and more and more. It's just unbelievable what's happening.
Ken,
Yes, ma'am.
can you describe what a tricolor triangle is? And what three colors?
Are you familiar with colorama plant, prison palette?
Yeah.
Okay, prison palette is a tricolor. But you have three
yellow, yeah.
the dominant base color.
Just in the petals or?
in the
It's-
petals, in the petals.
It's like the lip, the same color.
Is it florid or?
It's a type of Flora.
It's a type of flora.
Yeah.
And I was able to get a division of one out of Japan a few years ago. It was offered to me, I hocked my firstborn child.
You didn't tell her that, though, did you? Okay, next. Okay. How do you like this?
Yeah, it is yellow.
I didn't bring the book with me because I had all the genealogies in the book, took it out of the thing, put the computer in, and left it right on the table. I apologize.
Mendelii in there, Ken.
Okay, we got 50% of it.
It's a-
Dowiana?
No. Dowiana just does not breed yellow, okay? Dowiana, if you breed Dowiana to anything other than yellow, you're going to get whatever that other thing was, okay? In the first generation.
But you could have, it could be back there with something else.
Yeah, but something else is causing this to be yellow. And I apologize for that, people. My fault. Go to the next one. That's Gold Star, okay? But that to me is beautiful. But what you see right there, dead giveaway. Mendelii is in the background of that.
It's like it's got cinnamon.
Yeah, it's definitely a Laelia in the background. If you're interested, I can email you all the genealogies on all of these, okay? It's not hard to do. I have them, they're all printed out on paper. But that to me is also a beautiful flower. I'd like to see that lip rounder and filling that hole up, but that's the judge in me that's doing that.
But the narrowness of that tube and column and the forward portion of the blade looks like it has
Cinnabrina or,
some kind of Reticulus Laelia.
yeah,
behind it.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Next. This is one of the RHS's FCCs, and it is a pretty flower. It's got a beautiful lip on it, but it's got some doggy petals in it. Go ahead. This is Dr. Ping. This also has mendelii in it. Look at the color in the lip. Mendelii color, and it's just dead giveaway.
Jones Discovery was the first home for that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you were the first one.
Yeah, that's deep. That's the clone deep. There was other clone that you all had a different clone, didn't you?
They had deep, I think. I think that's where I got.
Was it deep?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And, then it was used in a lot of hybrids. Which
Right.
was, very
Which
interesting.
weren't successful very
Not
much.
very pretty.
Yeah. Next. This is probably the most famous cross with mendelii in the first generation. This is Octave d'Oyne. It was made in France, and you can certainly see that mendelii lip, and it's in a lot of things that we grow today. Okay. Next. Should be another one. Yep. Again, you see that lip.
So they awarded the lip.
Well, look at the next one. Yeah, they probably awarded the lip. Next. How about this one? That one got an FCC.
Which one is that again?
That one's San Juan, yeah. The Dell. Who owned the Dell?
Fidel
Yeah,
in England,
Hey, your memory's no better than mine. Mine's going downhill by the day.
What's the blue dye? The blue Cattleya?
Sir Jeremiah Coleman, okay. The Dell, all right. That was his plant. But quite beautiful. Next. This is another San Juan. Again, quite beautiful. But if they're purple and made with mendelii, you see that lip almost every time. Go ahead.
And it almost looks like some of those early mendelii you showed.
What?
It almost looks like some of those earliest mendelii.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Well, that's a Nellie Roberts painting. Now, some of the other ones you saw were from Lindinia. Those aren't her paintings.
No, they aren't. No. But I made sure that every one of hers had her name on them. I wouldn't take her name off of them because I cropped all of the pictures. But I just wouldn't take her name off of them if she
There's
did
another
them.
factor in this variation, which is sort of puzzling, and I'm curious about what the cause might have been. But the importers were in different places. They weren't all in the UK. So
Absolutely.
we had the people up in Belgium who were bringing in things, and those big greenhouses had lots of
Linden,
things.
yeah.
So I wonder whether some of those, once discovered, and somebody says, well, we might as well finally show this, if they didn't go down to UK to put it get it into the system, and that's how it showed up over this long period of time.
Well, that's certainly possible. There may have been different importations. But my understanding is that the first importations and the first few importations came out of that area that was very, very fine. The later ones did not. Oh, I'm sorry. The thanks, Bob. My caretaker over here. The first few importations that were taken were very good. They came out of the area where the very, very fine mendelii came from. Later importations were not as good. And you might say, well, they were cherry picking. Well, they weren't picking them when they were in flower. They were going in there any time that they could to get in, certainly not during the rainy season. You couldn't go in there. So they went in whenever they could. They just didn't wait when they were in flower. And they took whatever they found. The young man, obviously collecting the plants, was not a botanist, didn't know anything about the plants. So he just took whatever he found. I don't think we can attribute it to that, but we can attribute it to one area being a very fine population, and that's what came to England and probably Belgium, even to Luxembourg and Germany. Later on, they just weren't finding them. In fact, there's a comment in one of the old books that says that you could get 400 cases of mendelii 20 years ago. Today you can't get 4 because there's just none left. Next. This is Suavier that you were talking about. This is with Intermedia Akinii. This is
FCC one there?
nope. It may be, but the FCC one doesn't look much better than that. Next. This is the FCC one. The petals dazzled them. But it is a stunning thing. You know, the first Akinii, the petals were like this. They weren't laying out like this. They were in the same relative position as the lip. But again, you see the color of mendelii in that flower. Because the Intermedia Akinii is a much brighter reddish purple. It's not this deep purple. There are some that are that came along were found later called vinicolors, and those have those dark red purple markings. Go ahead. This is the last picture of it. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
For what it is.
Yeah,
Remember, intermediate.
yeah, hey, absolutely. You know, for those of you that are not AOS judges, one of the things that we keep trying to make sure that the judges use in their evaluation is what the parents look like. If the parents don't lay flat and don't give you that standard shape, you can't expect the progeny to do that. So you have to consider what the parentage is. Go ahead. One more. That one's not bad at all. And I think Bob will probably tell you, because they had this down in Jones and Scully. When it flowers, sometimes it looks like this. Sometimes it flowers, it looks like some of those first ones we looked at. So they're not standard, you know, they just don't keep producing the same kind of quality flower.
Go back to the previous slide and look at the evidence of chlorism on the midline of the pebbles.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Yeah, you see that right there? That is, in fact, that little set of lines right there.
So that comes through in excellency, and you see it
Yeah, yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
prominently.
And not just in this cross.
No.
You can see this in numerous crosses made with Intermedia Kenii. That right there will be right on the petals. Next. Wonder what one of the parents is of that. That's pretty nice. The whole flower has got this red purple color. It's a little darker in the lip, but the petals are very, very nice.
What's the name of it?
It's Twaitsii.
So ask Jeff where the yellow came from.
Okay, Jeff.
Look how yellow the tube is. That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Where'd the yellow come from?
Is that an Anzac hybrid?
Probably, yeah. Next. Okay, Zephyra alba. No color, so you can't tell. It's kind of a poor flower, except the RHS gave it a AM. Go ahead. This is Walter Armacost. Where'd you get that red color from? Mendelii in the background, I think.
Galliana background.
Well, Dowiana intensifies purple color. And you start off with that Mendelii color and a couple of shots of Dowiana, and look what you get. But usually you don't get as good a flower as that. I think that's the last one, isn't it? Okay. Okay. This is British Queen, another Digbyana hybrid, but it's got Mendelii in the background. You get some nice color out of it. Usually Digbyana just washes out color. So you have to get something in there that will override that tendency to wash color out. And it looks like Mendelii does that pretty decent. Go ahead. This is another one. Go ahead. That's another one. Go ahead. This is Digbyana Mendelii hybrid that is white, okay? That's also a Digbyana mendelii that's colored. Go ahead. This is a semi-alba. Got a little color up in the lip. You got perfecta? Okay, go ahead. This is another mendelii Digbyana. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's RLC Jones. And that's because I had the thing somewhere else put in there. Oh, no, stop right there. Okay. This is George Off's gold medal display at the Philadelphia Flower Show. I actually took this out of I think it's the Orchid Review, and made a picture for Young Ott. Where is he? Off, I mean. Dave, where you at? There he is. I'm going to give it to him. So that's all. Thank you all.